Now at 7 o'clock, a crash in northeast Salem leaves 4 people dead, while the man accused of causing the crash is set to appear in court this afternoon. We'll have the latest on this coming up in a live report. Plus,
they just ransacked the place. They took so much stuff, it was unbelievable.
A longtime Portland cannabis dispensary is asking for help to find the people who robbed the store at gunpoint. And it wasn't the first time it's happened this year. A look at security video plus what the shop's owner had to say.
And we're also taking a look this morning at a 100-year-old race in Paris that requires lots of training and even more balance. It's the waiters race. We'll have more on this century-old tradition coming up here in the 7 o'clock hour of sunrise.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us on your Monday. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. Chris McGinnis and Rod Hill standing by with weather and traffic. Rod, you have held many jobs in your lifetime.
Yes.
But I don't think you've ever discussed being a waiter.
No, the closest job to being a waiter would have been when I was a flight attendant.
Okay.
Yeah, back in the days when we hand carried out the hot meals and had really nice first class service. I did once, I'm holding silver tray real quick. It's got a ladle of cream on it for coffee, right? We hit some turbulence. Whoop! Yep. The whole thing hit this gentleman in first class with a suit. He was so nice. But it was a horrific moment, really. Here's a look at our downtown Portland live camera from Wells Fargo building. And this is showing the low clouds that have really settled in just the past, I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes or so. The sun is now up. 53. It's not quite up over the Cascades yet. You can see clear skies looking from this camera, the Shalem Tasting Room out in Sherwood. It's 46. So it's a cool start at the bus stop, a mixed bag of fog and clear skies. Sun up, now up, 6:58, 50 degrees on average, 64 degrees at noon. It will be fall by then. And then 75 degrees this afternoon. The kids get out of school. Perfectly clear expected. Here's Chris.
That looks awesome. All right, let's get you out the door. A couple of slow spots, and that is the slowest of them. We'll take you there. That's I-5 near the Interstate Bridge out of Clark County, and we expect that this hour of a Monday morning drive. So we're puttering along a little bit there towards SR 14. 2 miles of kind of slow and go action getting in from Clark County right now. That drive is up to 18 minutes now from Main Street south to the Fremont Bridge. We'll take you over to the east side. There's the Banfield. I-84 westbound traffic still rolling along okay. Your trip in from Troutdale, when you can get in less than 20 minutes, that's still pretty good for this hour of a Monday morning drive. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you, Chris. Let's get to our top news story here at 7 o'clock. The driver accused of causing a crash that killed 4 people in Salem over the weekend is scheduled to appear in court this afternoon.
Libby Dowsett joins us with the latest on the driver and the 4 young passengers killed in that crash. Libby.
China and Drew, the Marion County Sheriff's Office says the backseat passengers who died in that crash were believed to be in their late teens or early 20s. The crash happened Saturday night just before 8 along Condon Road northeast in Salem. The Marion County Sheriff's Office says the driver of a Volkswagen Jetta, 23-year-old Saul Hernandez Roblero, crossed the southbound lane and collided with a Buick Enclave. Authorities say 4 young men or teens riding in the back of that Jetta were killed. The driver, Hernandez Roblero, and a 5th passenger in the front seat were hospitalized with serious injuries. The driver of the Buick and 2 children were also taken to Salem Hospital to be evaluated. Hernandez Roblero is now in the custody of the Sheriff's Office, facing multiple charges including first-degree manslaughter, DUI, reckless endangerment, and reckless driving. He is set to be arraigned on charges this afternoon at the Marion County Court Annex. China.
Libby, thank you. 1 person is dead following a crash in Troutdale. It happened around 7:40 Saturday night on Southeast Troutdale Road, north of Division Drive. The Multnomah County Sheriff's Office believes that a driver crashed into a parked car in the driveway. They were pronounced dead at the scene. There were people inside the parked car, but none of them were hurt.
There was also a deadly crash on I-84 over the weekend involving 2 cars and a wrong-way driver. This happened Saturday morning near Corbett. When first responders got there, they found 1 car on fire. The driver had to be pulled out and was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. The driver of the 2nd car was pronounced dead at the scene.
1 person is facing life-threatening injuries after a shooting in Forest Grove. It happened just before 12:15 Sunday afternoon near TV Highway and Pacific Avenue. The victim had to be life-flighted to the hospital. We reached out to police for more information on their conditions as well as details about a suspect and are waiting to hear back.
We're learning more about the human remains found near Leavenworth that investigators believe could be Travis Decker, the man accused of killing his 3 daughters in Central Washington.
State Patrol says it's running DNA tests on the remains to find out for certain if it's Decker. Chelan County Sheriff Mike Morrison says that drone captured images of a shirt near Leavenworth on Thursday. It's less than a mile from where Peyton, Olivia, and Evelyn's bodies were found in June. Investigators also found shorts, jewelry, and chewing tobacco.
Certainly we recognize the challenge. It was steep terrain. This was not in an area that we had already searched. This was a new area that we were looking to search, which was part of our plan. If we hadn't found Mr. Decker during this search, we were going to continue the same next month in another area and continue to push out.
Sheriff Morrison says that he's optimistic the DNA results will confirm a match to Decker, at which point the case will effectively be closed.
Portland police were involved in a shooting this weekend at a gas station in southeast Portland. The man they shot is in the hospital. Investigators say he also fired at police. KGW's Catherine Cook walks us through what happened.
It was pretty crazy, you know.
Saturday morning, police shut down Southeast 122nd and Division after a shooting at this gas station involving a suspect and officers.
I heard like a lot of gunshots and like people screaming.
Around 9:15, police say officers surrounded this Nissan and challenged the man inside.
He was a white man with tattoos.
He wouldn't get out, and then when he did open the door, he had a gun in his hand.
During that stop, there was an exchange of gunfire.
Sergeant Kevin Allen says no officers were hurt, but the suspect was hit. Police began first aid before paramedics arrived and took him to the hospital.
At this point, the injuries to the suspect appear to be non-life-threatening.
Police recovered this gun from the suspect's car, and they found bullet holes in a patrol car and a private vehicle. They also interviewed a woman they say was in the suspect's car at the time, describing her as a witness.
Police tell us this whole thing started here at a different gas station on Southeast 84th and Foster. An attendant told officers the suspect threatened them with a gun before taking off.
I believe this was outstanding police work, and we had officers that were looking all around the precinct and their patrol areas for the suspect vehicle, and it really paid off.
For people who live and work in the neighborhood, it's still frustrating.
It's sad that this is happening. Very sad. We've got to do something soon.
It's very unfortunate whenever you have gunfire in our city streets, and it's something that we take seriously, and we really want to make sure the public knows that we go above and beyond to make sure these are investigated fully.
And as the red tape flutters, so do emotions.
There were a lot of people around when this happened.
But on this day, no one else was hit.
Yeah, it's a crazy world we live in.
In Southeast Portland,
Yeah.
Catherine Cook, KGW News.
Your time now is 7:08. The Moreland Theater is celebrating its 100th anniversary. Over the weekend, the theater hosted free movie screenings and discounted concessions. The celebration was also part fundraiser to restore the theater's iconic marquee. The Moreland Theater isn't the only local theater celebrating its 100th birthday. Cinema 21 also just passed the milestone, and next year, the Hollywood Theater will turn 100 as well.
All right, Rodney Hill.
Yeah, do you remember the first movie you ever went to in a movie theater, by the way, any of you?
I remember this. 1979, I'm 5 years old. Rocky II is out in the theaters. And I remember my dad, all I remember is my dad carrying me out of the theater. And so he's holding me like this. He's walking out. My face is facing the screen. And I can still see the credits rolling up. Even at 5 years old, I was way in to Rocky Balboa.
Obsessed.
I was gonna say when your dad was carrying you out, were you doing this with your hands?
At Rocky movies back in the day, the crowd was going wild, like it was an actual boxing match, right?
Oh, I watch those movies today, and my wife laughs at me. I'm still on the couch going, "Come on, Rock!" And my wife's like, "You know who's gonna win?"
Doc Rocky.
I'm like, "I don't know, honey. It's a close fight, you know."
Boys.
Here's a look at the Chinookwas Casino Resort camera in Lincoln City this morning. The story is clear skies. Patchy fog around, so this shows that perfectly actually. 46 degrees, beautiful day coming at the coast. All areas later this morning will just be perfectly clear. Literally, I don't expect a cloud in the sky. This is cool. You got a little shallow fog right over the pond there. This is the Reserve Vineyards and Golf Club in Aloha. Otherwise, looking off to the west, it's clear. It's 53 degrees, winds are light. Now the other direction, you have more cloud cover. So far the sun's being covered up from downtown Portland and the Wells Fargo camera. 53 is the temperature. You get out in parts of the valley though, perfectly clear. That's the Dundee Hills and the camera out at Domain Serene Winery. So it really depends on where you are. We're cool out there, a lot of 40s, 47 Gresham, Troutdale, 46, Hillsboro, Beaverton. Salem, good morning, 47 now. 44 up in McMinnville. Certainly light wind, clear sky days. We've reached that point in late summer, early fall that you would expect temperatures to be in the 40s, right? Here's a look at this afternoon. Beautiful weather. My goodness. 60s at the beach, mainly 70s inland with absolutely clear skies expected. Winds will be generally light. All areas, valley, coast, and out through the gorge. It shows the Dows at 5 o'clock, 75 degrees. Here's our 7-day. Portland, after early fog pockets, we'll go 77. The autumnal equinox, 11:19 local time this morning, beginning of fall. 85 tomorrow, Wednesday. Records this time of the year still up into the 90s, by the way. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, average dry, early clouds, otherwise sunny, and temperatures in 70s. I mean, just an absolutely fabulous 7-day forecast in terms of nice weather. Here's Chris.
Yeah, that is pretty awesome. All right, let's get you into Milwaukee. We've got some trouble now on Highway 224. It looks like we've got a crash westbound just east of Lake Road. And right now, the westbound Highway 224 commute is backed up towards Interstate 205. So plan a few extra minutes to get around that. Traffic's certainly running a little thick there. Back to the freeway drive, certainly a few slow spots popping up now. Door number 1 there, that's the I-5 southbound commute plugging up at the Interstate Bridge, and that lineup extends back past Mill Plain at this point. We're looking at about 20 minutes to get you in from Main Street south to the Fremont Bridge. Quick check over on the east side, there's Interstate 84. The taillights there, that's the westbound commute coming in from 82nd Avenue. And right now the drive-in from Troutdale still holding steady at about 19 or 20 minutes. So that is still not in too bad a shape just yet. China?
Thank you, Chris.
Don't run. Stay calm, stay focused, and try to balance well your tray.
In Paris, it's not the Olympics, but it does take dedication, training, and a steady hand. Coming up, a look at a race that has been balancing trays and tradition for 100 years. Sunrise streaming live at 7 continues after this.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
All right, now to a century-old competition in Paris. It takes training, balance, steady hand. It's not the Olympics, but the waiters race. And for the past 100 years, waiters have raced through the city with trays in hand, celebrating the tradition of French cafes. Take a look.
This is really a challenge for me.
This is Eva Fontaine, and she's not training for a marathon or the Olympics, but for one of Paris's most iconic traditions, the 100-year-old waiters race. Born in the 1920s, it was created to celebrate the heritage of French cafes and to showcase the skill and dexterity of those who keep them running.
Don't run. Stay calm, stay focused, and try to balance well your tray.
Fontaine came in 4th place last year. This summer, she's been training hard, set on winning a place on the podium.
I didn't watch my back enough, and so I was overtaken by another runner at the last moment.
It's race day. The waiters are picking up their bibs, and the goal is to cross the finish line as quickly as possible without spilling, running, or carrying the tray in both hands.
Let's go!
Eva's off to a great start. The tray is steady. She hasn't spilt anything. She's got 4 kilometers of Parisian pavement ahead of her. How are you feeling?
I feel worse. Not tired. We are approaching to the banks of the sea, which is my favorite route.
Almost at the finish line. Eva is neck and neck with another waitress. This could cost her a place on the podium. Now we're into the final stretch. You can feel the tension. The crowd is cheering, competitors closing in. Eva Fontaine pushes forward, every step counts, and across the finish line, what a performance. Eva Fontaine takes 4th place, just shy of the podium, but a fantastic effort.
Of course, I will be back next year too. Yeah, with pleasure.
Saskia Van Doorn, CNN, Paris.
So they have their waiters race like this, very prestigious, little bow tie. We have the hot dog eating contest.
Yeah, we have that.
I mean,
And
nothing says class like dipping bread into water and then stuffing it in your face, quite frankly.
Rod talked about being a waiter on an airplane. Basically, you were a flight attendant back in the day. And you also told stories in the past about how like that stuff is just like flying up in the air sometimes during turbulence. Nasty job.
Yeah. Not an easy job. Someone's got to do it. Never was a waiter, though. Was a busboy. Cleaning up, you know, that was easy. Just throw it in the tub, get it back to the kitchen, give it to the dishwasher, moving on.
I was a waiter at one point, and
you were?
And I feel like I can speak for everybody on this. When somebody does this to you,
no good.
I want to just quit.
No.
Is that why you never respond to me in the newsroom when I do that and I'm trying to get your attention?
You're finally catching up.
Well, okay, well, it's good to know. All right, here's a look at our satellite radar. I think I want to back up for a second. Yeah, okay, the autumnal equinox, 11:19 this morning. So that is the official start local time of fall. So at noon today, it will be fall. Right now, it's still summer. And by the way, it doesn't go with turning the clocks. That doesn't happen until the first Sunday in November. This year's date is November 2nd. We'll fall back 1 hour, but we stay on daylight saving time until that moment. So still, good 5 weeks or so to go before we do that. All right, we are all clear except for some patchy valley fog and low cloud areas. Above all of that, here's Timberline this morning, 41 degrees, winds are calm. This is kind of a classic crisp, I'll say late summer morning, because that's where we're still sitting at. Again, 41 up at the lodge. This is really heavy dew on the golf course. This is Persimmon Golf Club out in Gresham. This is up in elevation a little bit. Not frost, but as we get into these cooler nights, you also notice the dew gets heavier and heavier and heavier. And of course, about a month out from starting to see, patchy frost starting to show up in the valley. Not there yet. Here's the Salem Sky Camera. This is kind of a cool shot, a little orange illumination of the Capitol building with clear skies, 47 degrees, all clear over the Capitol Mall there. We have clouds over downtown Portland. The bricks are dry. Here's the Pioneer Park building looking at Pioneer Courthouse Square, 53 out of PDX, partly cloudy skies being reported now along the Columbia River. It's 40s in Kelso, Salem, and Eugene, and Newport. Bend is 39. Burns, talk about frost, but you folks are so dry out there you don't see much of it. 31 is the temperature out in Burns right now with clear skies. Okay, a great Monday coming up. We'll see light northeast winds, early fog pockets around, otherwise perfectly clear, generally mid to upper 70s here in the valley. This shows 76 degrees in Longview, 77 in Vancouver and Battleground, pretty much normal for this time of the year, the last, the transition day of summer to fall. We'll be in the 80s, though, the next couple of days. Above normal, yes. Near records, no. And then we're back into the 70s, it looks like, on Thursday. And I've got just a wonderful week ahead. My goodness. Right now, we are tracking a rain chance a week from today into Tuesday. That's your update. Here's Chris.
Wow, like 8 days out on that.
Yeah.
That's getting into October, Rod. All right, let's go ahead and pick it up in Milwaukee. We've got a crash right now on the Milwaukee Expressway, Highway 224 westbound. It's just east of Webster Road. No word on any injuries or anything like that, but you can see the westbound drive especially really plugged up. And to give you a better perspective on that, this is out near I-205 And there's the ramp that takes you onto Highway 224 westbound. You can see that westbound traffic right now is stacking up a little bit there. So we'll keep you posted on that, but that is definitely a slow spot right now. Back to the freeway drive, I-5 from Clark County. There you go, slow and steady, southbound over the Interstate Bridge. This is relatively unchanged, though, in the last little while. 20 minutes or so gets you in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge, so that's not so bad. Highway 26, the normal brake tapping coming down the hill from the zoo into the tunnel. But once again, Drew, the drive times on the west side actually look pretty good right now.
All right, thank you, Chris.
The FCC was wrong to weigh in, and I'll fight any attempt by the government to get involved with speech.
Censorship and what we're seeing from the federal government only serves to further divide us.
Concerns over free speech growing on both sides of the aisle in Washington, D.C. We're going to have the latest coming up in this morning's national headlines in 2 minutes.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Free speech is the center of debate in Washington, D.C. after Jimmy Kimmel's suspension last week and new rules for journalists from the Pentagon. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest from the nation's capital.
This morning, pressing questions from both sides of the aisle about free speech in America, as tens of thousands said goodbye to the murdered conservative activist Charlie Kirk at a public memorial in Arizona.
I will miss him so much because our marriage and our family were beautiful.
Many, including President Trump, honoring Kirk's commitment to promoting free speech.
It's the right and inheritance of every free American, the greatest legacy of the Enlightenment, and among the most treasured achievements of civilization. We will defend it at all costs.
Now, in the wake of Kirk's assassination, there are new concerns about censorship, thrust to the forefront after ABC indefinitely pulled its late-night host Jimmy Kimmel off air after his comments about Republicans' response to Kirk's murder that led to criticism from the FCC chairman and suggestions of potential action involving the network's license. President Trump has since made similar comments. Lawmakers in both parties weighing in.
The FCC was wrong to weigh in, and I'll fight any attempt by the government to get involved with speech.
Censorship and what we're seeing from the federal government only serves to further divide us and make us less safe.
It comes amid new Defense Department restrictions that journalists can no longer gather or report information, even unclassified, without authorization from the government or risk losing their press credentials. The National Press Club calling it a direct assault on independent journalism, while Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth argued the press does not run the Pentagon, the people do. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Here's a look at some other national headlines with your morning rush. The man accused of firing shots at a Sacramento TV station is scheduled to appear in federal court today. 64-year-old Anibal Hernandez Santana was rearrested by the FBI after posting bail for violating a federal statute by interfering with licensed radio communications. Police say he fired at least 3 shots into the ABC station's lobby last Friday. No one was hurt. Officials say a natural gas fire in Wyoming was so large it could be seen from miles away in Colorado. These are pictures that show yesterday's fire. The cause is still under investigation, but officials say a Union Pacific Railroad train carrying hazardous materials was involved and that the gas pipeline ignited near the train. President Trump says the Murdochs, the family behind Fox News, could be among the investors interested in buying TikTok away from the app's current Chinese ownership. A new U.S. version of TikTok would be majority owned and controlled by Americans. The White House says a deal could be sealed between the U.S. and China here in the coming days. And that's a look at your morning rush. A local cannabis shop is offering a reward to help find the people who robbed the store at gunpoint. Now, this is the same cannabis shop that had an SUV crash through the front of the store earlier this year. We're going to hear from the shop's owner coming up in the 7:30 half hour of Sunrise.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
We are coming up on 7:29 on your Monday morning drive. I think in Milwaukee right now. We've got a crash on the Milwaukee Expressway, Highway 224 westbound. It's just east of Webster Road, and the traffic is really slow now getting onto Highway 224 westbound. This is from I-205. There's the ramp that takes you onto 224 westbound. So we're a mile and a half, 2 miles away from that crash scene, and traffic is really starting to plug up there. Outside of that, the rest of the freeway drive is actually in pretty good shape on this Monday morning. Rod?
I see some sunshine on your cameras there, Chris. Good morning to you. Also, illumination from the sun over our state capital down Salem. Perfectly clear sky, 47. It's a cool start. Now, Portland, I think you can kind of tell straight up the low cloudiness is really thin, and there's a baby blue sky, but definitely foggy up in the West Hills this morning. And we have some other reports of patchy fog out there as well. 53 is the number. This will go on to be perfectly clear. 64 degrees, 77 at 5 o'clock, and our 7 days completely dry. Oh yes, fall begins 11:19 this morning. local time.
Well, Missouri boy Rod Hill's like this story that kicks off our 7:30 half hour of Sunrise.
Yeah.
We got a couple of newborn Budweiser Clydesdales at the Warm Springs Ranch in Missouri, Rod.
Oh, yeah.
One of them's a colt, the other one's a filly.
Both are beer drinkers. Go ahead.
Drinking the beer out of the trough. They're both about 3 feet tall, 150 pounds, and they joined 70 other Clydesdales at that breeding and training facility. The Budweiser Clydesdales. What do we say to the young colt and the young filly, China Green?
Good morning, you sweet little thing. They're so cute.
Sweet baby angel.
Born at 150 pounds, too? That's a big baby.
Oh, yeah, no, it's a heck of a delivery, you might say. 300
Great
pounds
job,
worth of
Mama.
baby between the two.
What about that light beer movement? Apparently not playing a part there, huh?
That's good.
All right.
You're good on a Monday.
Let's get you going this morning. We have a gorgeous day. Of course, the overwhelming headline, along with the fact that it's going to be sunny and gorgeous, is the first day of fall, the autumnal equinox, 11:19 this morning, which means technically it's a summer start. It will be a fall lunch hour and a fall dinner hour. Here's Chinook Winds Casino Resort in Lincoln City. Gorgeous day at the coast upcoming. Temps will be in the 60s later today. Right now, 46 degrees. There's downtown Portland. I really think this fogginess over the West Hills and a little thin veil of some cloudiness will be going away pretty quickly in the coming hours. We'll be wonderfully clear later this morning. Right now we're at 53, kind of a mixed bag of clear and fog. Light wind, 64 degrees at noon. And then later today, 77. This first evening of fall, sun goes down at 7:07. Here's Chris.
Look at that sunshine. That looks good. All right, not looking so good right now in Milwaukee. Highway 224 westbound, an earlier crash near Webster Road has 224 westbound. The Milwaukee Expressway running really thick right now. I can show you the perspective from this live ODOT camera on I-205 at Lawnfield Road. There is the ramp that takes you to 224 westbound. So we're lined up a good mile and a half from that crash scene. It does appear that that crash is in the clearing stages, but still give yourself a few extra minutes to get around that. I-5 from Clark County, slow and steady at the Interstate Bridge, normal for this hour of a Monday morning drive. Guys, 20 minutes get you in from Main Street.
All right, thank you, Chris. Top story here at 7:30. A Southwest Portland cannabis dispensary is offering a $1,000 reward for information that leads to an arrest after the shop was robbed at gunpoint.
It is the second time that the store has been robbed in just the last year. Catherine Cook has the story.
Just demoralizing and scary.
It's been 1 week since someone robbed Sally Bishop's cannabis dispensary, Green Goddess Remedies, on Southwest Taylors Ferry Road.
They just ransacked the place. They took so much stuff, it was unbelievable.
Security video shows two men with guns and faces covered. The manager on shift holds up her hands as she follows orders, leading crooks to the safe. Sally says it's the second time this has happened here in less than a year.
We're all on pins and needles, you know, and it makes it worse because we can't see out our windows right now because it's boarded up.
Back in July, an SUV crashed into the building, causing $200,000 in damage. Sally's still waiting for insurance to come through. Just another burden to bear.
At this point, I'm like, what's next?
Sally opened Green Goddess 13 years ago, the same week recreational marijuana became legal in Oregon. She's proud of the small woman-owned business she's built, but says doing business in a city where cannabis break-ins have now become rampant is not what she signed up for.
I've lost employees over it who were traumatized.
The Portland Police Bureau's Major Crimes Unit is investigating the case. Sally is offering a $1,000 reward for information leading to an arrest.
This isn't child's play. I mean, eventually, and it has happened, people are going to be killed.
In Southwest Portland, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
All right, meantime, we have some breaking news from overnight. 2 people are now in custody after a robbery in Gresham. So Gresham police say the Rockwood Lounge on Southeast 182nd and Division was robbed. This call came in around midnight. Police then found a vehicle matching the description of the getaway car. 2 suspects left the car, ran away while the driver drove off. Police later caught the 2 suspects who ran. The driver is still on the loose.
Investigators are working to figure out what caused a fire at this storage facility in Aurora. It happened yesterday afternoon at Executive RV Storage. Firefighters arrived to find dark smoke coming from 4 units there. They were eventually able to put the fire out, though, without anyone getting hurt.
Meantime, firefighters in Lebanon had to work on extinguishing 2 fires at once. The first happened on Morton Street around 5:36 yesterday, with a second one sparking 2 minutes later a few miles away. When crews arrived at the first fire, they found a detached garage on fire. The fire then spread to a neighboring house. And while that was happening, crews were working to fight another garage fire that had spread to a home's roof and attic. 2 cars in the home's driveway were also burned in that. But the cause of the fires are being investigated. No one was injured in either.
A Montana man is in the Multnomah County Jail this morning after a multi-state crime spree that caused more than $150,000 worth of damage. On September 11th, Salem police say 32-year-old Brian Del Werner was caught on camera damaging nearly 3 dozen cars at Mercedes and Acura of Salem on Commercial Street Southeast. 3 days later, he allegedly damaged another 35 cars at BMW of Salem over on Van Ness Avenue Northeast. Police arrested him in Portland last Monday on several charges, including DUI. They say he also had a warrant out for his arrest because of a vandalism spree in Montana that involved gunfire.
Healthcare workers at Kaiser Permanente in Oregon and Southwest Washington have voted to authorize a strike. So the Oregon Federation of Nurses and Health Professionals say 97% of its members approved this strike. The union says it's most concerned about staffing levels and working conditions. Meanwhile, Kaiser Permanente says it meets and often exceeds nurse-to-patient ratios. The union could give a 10-day strike notice anytime after the current contract expires at the end of this month.
We have an update this morning on the Oregon man who was arrested by Border Patrol while helping to fight a wildfire in Washington last month. The attorney representing 23-year-old Rigoberto Hernandez pleaded for his immediate release. His attorney says Hernandez was in the process of getting legal status, and the only offense on his record was a misdemeanor for speed racing shortly after he turned 18. The legal director at Innovation Law Lab says they've asked for a hearing to be scheduled as soon as next week, but it's up to the court as to when that will actually happen.
Oregon and 21 other states have won a court order halting U.S. Department of Agriculture from obtaining information about SNAP recipients. So earlier this year, the department ordered states to provide information on those receiving SNAP benefits since 2020. That includes information like home addresses, social security numbers, immigration status. And then on Friday, a judge issued a temporary restraining order halting the order. About 1 in 6 people in Oregon receive SNAP benefits.
Congresswoman Suzanne Bonamici stopped by the Portland State University Farmers Market over the weekend to talk to vendors there about the importance of fresh fruit and vegetables. She also specifically talked about how SNAP and the Double Up food bucks help families afford produce. As part of President Trump's Big Beautiful Bill, SNAP will see more than $500 million in cuts over the next 2 years, cuts that Representative Bonamici says Portland families heavily rely on.
I call it the big ugly bill because I don't see much beautiful about it, because as costs go up, people need to be able to access the healthy food. So it's about public health, it's about supporting our farmers, and it's about, in the United States of America, no one should be hungry.
During that farmers market appearance, Representative Bonamici also responded to President Trump's recent public comments about Portland, where he apparently renewed his promise to send National Guard troops.
Have you seen Portland at all? Have you taken a look at what's happening in Portland? It's, I mean, this has been going on for years. It's just people out of control. They're crazy. We're going to stop that very soon.
Of course, we have challenges like any urban area does, and we're working with our state and local officials and community groups, and look at this thriving community right here. This is far from a hellhole.
It's not clear if or when the president intends to follow through with those plans to send the National Guard here to Portland.
Your time now is 7:38. We're taking a live look from our Chinook Winds Casino sky cam. It looks very picturesque out there. Had the birds a-flying, you had the blue sky a-shining, you got some whatever fog thing stuff that's called.
Yeah, keep going, Gianna, keep going. Yeah,
we got a Rod Hill of forecasting.
I'm not much of a poet.
No, you were doing great. We have a beautiful day. So from the coast, where it's obviously sunny, China pointed out a little bit of shallow fog, kind of kissing the Pacific waters. All clear up high, Timberline Lodge. It is 43 degrees up there. There's no wind. This is another light wind day coming at us. Here is pretty much perfectly clear skies looking out west toward the Coast Range from the Reserve Vineyards and Golf Club in Washington County this morning. 53 degrees is the temperature outside. Now, if you look off to the east, it's a bit of a different story. I mean, there is sunny skies, but you can see there's certainly some low fog kind of hunkered down in spots. This is from the Sherwood camera, the Chehalem Tasting Room camera location. 46 is the number there. Other temperatures, we're in the 40s and 50s. 50 up in Vancouver right now, 43 up in Battleground, 49 down in Wilsonville. Is that Dove? No, 42 is the coolest number on the map this morning. That's you folks in Estacada. Good morning to you. Okay, here is a look at Hoss, our KGW dog of the day. Love the name. I love the name for this dog, right? That's Hoss. Dog of the day at kgw.com. Send us, use the email, send us your dog's photo and name. Your dog will become our dog of the day. Well, after the early kind of shallow fog pockets we have, this will go on to be just absolutely fabulous, deep blue, clear sky with light winds. 60s at the coast, mainly 70s inland. Everybody has a light wind or 5 to 15 mile per hour north to northeast wind direction in the forecast. Mid 70s in Madison Bend, pretty identical, if you will, to what we expect here in the Willamette Valley. I've got Portland at 77. The autumnal equinox will start at fall 11:19 local time this morning, so we're looking at the last few hours of summer. We'll be mid-80s tomorrow and Wednesday, not record, but well above normal, and then back to normal, which will be 70s for this time of the year on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It is a dry and, for the most part, a sunny 7-day forecast. Here's Chris.
That's a great looking 7-day. All right, let's get you out the door. Traffic not great looking, rolling through Milwaukee right now. On the Milwaukee Expressway westbound, we've got a crash near Webster Road. Photojournalist Eric Patterson's been on the scene here now a little while. A couple of cars involved. You can see some police, a tow truck just showing up. And that westbound commute now is backed up about 1.5 miles from here across I-205. So Highway 224 right now westbound. There you can see the lineup running really thick to get around that crash scene. Give yourself some extra time there for sure. Back to the Banfield, Interstate 84. There's your westbound commute coming in from 82nd Avenue. That's not too bad right now. Total drive in from Troutdale is up a few more clicks in the drive time fun meter, though. 27 minutes gets you in from Troutdale west to the I-5 split. China?
Thank you, Chris.
You know, just thinking about Portland, I just think about, you know, the fans always showing up for me from day one, you know, ever since the 80s.
Rapper Ice Cube performing at the Moda Center today, and coming up in 2 minutes, we'll hear about what music and Portland mean to him.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
All right, rapper Actor, songwriter Ice Cube brings his Truth to Power tour to the Moda Center later tonight.
KGW Sabina Pierre spoke with him about his stop here in Portland and to get his thoughts on his music, film career, and connection to the Rose City.
You know, just thinking about Portland, I just think about, you know, the fans always showing up for me from day one, you know, ever since the 80s.
And this month, rap icon Ice Cube will be back in the Rose City. We caught up with him ahead of his Portland show.
Always really, you know, coming through and showing up.
Ice Cube is bringing 4 decades of hip-hop to Portland, performing at the Moda Center on September 22nd as part of his Truth to Power tour. Cube describes this as his largest production yet, with hits spanning from early solo work, NWA collaborations, and his latest projects.
So I can really dig into those catalog songs that people love. It's gonna be great to be able to take people through my career and really celebrate all this good music.
Cube also described his latest album, Man Up.
It's a history lesson. Putting it in a song form, kind of our job, you know, is to be able to deliver a cool message, but still rock the beat, still make it dope.
He reflected on last year's Man Down, which continues his streak of socially conscious, street-informed music.
You know, it's street knowledge. It's what I do. It's just talking about things that are on people's mind or in the air.
The rapper shared memories filming his 2005 family comedy, Are We There Yet?, in Portland, noting the city's cool people and energy, but admitted when he returns, he'll be here to work.
I go to cities, but I'm not there to play. I'm there to give the fans a good show.
He hopes fans will be there.
You gotta come. Gotta check me out when I hit Portland.
Sabina Pierre, KGW News.
And if you're looking for a reason to treat yourself to something sweet today for the final hours of summer, in like 3 hours, or perhaps to celebrate the first day of fall, it is National Ice Cream Cone Day. So according to nationaldaycalendar.com, ice cream cones, they were first mentioned in French cookbooks around 1825.
Really?
Became popular in the U.S. in the late 1800s and then debuted at the World's Fair in 1904. So you two, I want to know, what is your favorite type of ice cream cone? The waffle, the chocolate dipped, the normal one?
I'm definitely going waffle cone over sugar cone. I mean, I don't like the cake cup thing that's like breaks apart real easy.
Yeah.
I'll go sugar cone over that. Go waffle cone over the sugar for sure.
Okay.
If you want to dip it in chocolate, I'm down.
Okay.
All right. And this is, by the way, not National Ice Cream Day. It's
No.
National Ice Cream Cone Day.
Cone, yeah.
You know who started National Ice Cream Day? A little trivia for you. It's always the third Sunday in July.
Okay.
I know this off the top of my head. I don't know why.
Okay.
Because I've been living around here for a while. I know these things.
Okay.
President Reagan, back in the 1980s, declared the third Sunday of July National Ice Cream
Day.
Yes.
Oh.
The man liked himself some ice cream.
You would have thought he would have gone, you know, July, or I'm thinking of hot weather.
What did
right?
I say?
July or August. You said third, what did you say?
I said third Sunday of July.
Oh, in July. For some reason, I was thinking you were thinking September.
Yeah, third Sunday of July.
Yeah, I don't pay attention. My wife says I don't pay attention. All right.
The proof's in the ice cream, right there.
Okay. All right. China, your favorite cone? You going?
Chocolate dipped in sprinkles.
The sprinkles.
I like the sprinkles.
All right. I'm going to give Dairy Queen an old shout out. Nothing like walking up to the old window and getting that soft serve vanilla in the regular cone. Love it.
Basic.
Yeah, basic, very classic. 11:19 this morning, set your watch. That's the autumnal equinox, and that will be the official start to the fall season. We don't toy with the clocks. We don't turn back or fall back 1 hour until that first Sunday in November, and that's still about 5-6 weeks out. November 2nd is the date on that. All right, we're clear, minus what the satellite picture is not showing, and that would be some pockets of low clouds, some fog around, but overall it's just clear, including our coastal camera. I mean, a little low fog kind of nipping at some of the coastal waters, but otherwise that's clear skies. This is down Lincoln County, the inn at Otter Crest, and all of our cameras up through Lincoln City and all the way up through Gearhart and Astoria showed the same thing. So it's going to be a beautiful day at the coast. All clear inland, minus valley fog pockets. Here's the Oregon Veterans Home camera out in the Dalles. 48, it's a cool start. The winds are east, southeast. And again, if you're new to our area, when you want clear skies, I mean, we can get clear skies with any wind direction, but the best bet is always when we get the east wind. That lowers the dew points as well, sets the stage for some cool mornings, and can set the stage for really warm afternoons also. Here's the Vancouver, the Springs at the waterfront camera. One spot where we are seeing a lot of cloud cover, and this is along the Columbia River. Look how just glassy and quiet the water is there along the river as you look at the Interstate 5 bridge. 50 degrees is the temperature outside. 53, that was on the Pearson Airfield in Vancouver, 53 PDX. 39 in Bend, and it is freezing this morning out in Burns at 31, 38 in Baker City. Again, as we go through the coming hours, all of the little valley fog pockets will dissipate and will be perfectly clear. This is 8 o'clock this morning, and it is picking up on a little bit of a valley fog, little patches. Otherwise, Futurecast doesn't show you anything. It's just going to be a nice, mainly sunny entire week through Sunday upcoming. How about that? Here is the coast today. Sunny skies, some early fog, not mounting much. Mid to upper 60s expected. Valley, some patchy fog areas. Mid to upper 70s expected. Looks like today could be about 5 degrees warmer than yesterday on average, location to location. Hood River 76 today. The Dalles 79, mainly clear, northeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Portland 77, yesterday it was 72. Again, fall arrives later this morning. Mid 80s tomorrow, Wednesday. A little late taste of summer, although it will be fall, of course. And then 70s on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. If you're wondering, what will the weatherman do all week with that forecast? The answer is, this is the week I'm going to roll up the sleeves and get heavy into my winter outlook, which we will have for you around the third week or so of October coming up. So, Chris, a good week for me to do that.
I thought it was going to be a great week to go golfing.
Well, that too.
All right, let's go ahead and pick it up. In Milwaukee, on a serious note here, this crash right now on westbound Highway 224. No word on any injuries, but man, you can see it is backing up the drive here. You can see police are with it. It may have gotten finally cleared over to the shoulder, some of it, but there's a tow truck there blocking one of those westbound lanes. Footage journalist Eric Patterson's been on the scene for a little while, and you can see we're lined up for about 1.5 miles on the approach. So you need some extra time there for sure. Hopping over to the west side, here's the Sunset out near Murray Boulevard. The drivers have got the sun glare to combat there as they're just driving right into that rising sun. Also, I-5 northbound traffic running a little thick through Bridgeport Village. Right now, that trip in from Wilsonville has jumped up to about 26 minutes at last check. We'll be right back.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
We have a health alert for you this morning. A plant-based substance marketed as a natural energy booster is raising some concerns at Washington's Poison Center. Christine Pei with our sister station in Seattle has more on the dangers this supplement could pose.
Kratom has been used medicinally and recreationally for centuries.
Kratom is derived from the Mitragina plant that's native to Southeast Asia.
but a concentrated synthetic version is alarming poison control experts. Jimmy Leonard is chief clinical officer at the Washington Poison Center and a toxicologist and pharmacist.
At low doses, kratom seems to cause a little bit of stimulation and kind of an upper kind of effect, like caffeine. At higher doses, it seems to work more like an opioid.
This summer, the FDA issued a warning about a compound derived from kratom, saying the public must prevent the next wave of the opioid crisis.
Since it does work on the opioid receptors, it causes things like dependence. And if people stop abruptly, withdrawal.
The compound, known as 7-hydroxymetragenine, or 7-OH for short, is the most potent opioid component of kratom, and Leonard says it's putting children at risk.
We at the Poison Center have been consulted more and more on 7-hydroxymetragenine, and especially in young kids who have almost died.
Washington's Poison Center handled 70 kratom calls so far this year, already surpassing last year's total of 56. Nationally, Leonard says the data shows a vertical spike in cases, and 80% of kratom-related calls to the Poison Center are coming from healthcare professionals asking for guidance. Leonard adds kratom is easily accessible at convenience stores.
We loosely termed it gas station highs.
Kratom products are sold over the counter with no manufacturing standards or regulation. Leonard warns the chewable tablet forms are being mistaken for candy by children, leading to life-threatening overdoses that even require the overdose reversal drug naloxone. If you are concerned about the effects of taking kratom, call the Washington Poison Center immediately.
Another cannabis shop hit by armed robbers in Portland, and coming up at 8 o'clock, how the owner is fighting back, and they're warning about where these crimes could lead. Plus,
they are eating as much as they can right now. They're in a state called hyperphagia, which it means that some of their hormones telling them that they're full turns off.
It's an all-you-can-eat buffet, you might say, for salmon-loving bears. This, by the way, is also Fat Bear Week. Have you heard of this, China?
No.
Fat Bear Week is a thing. It officially starts tomorrow, and they're saying that this year could be one for the record books and lead to some of the fattest bears yet. Yes, we're talking Fat Bear Week in the 8 o'clock hour of sunrise.
The